He needs to become a man, and that's exactly why he's coming on the next date with you.
Well, I gotta say, I love this movie, man. I mean, just like Bandit, this thing's an absolute blast. It's big, it's funny, the action just is off the hook from the start. Now, Allan, I'd love to start with you because I'd love to hear, I know you're a big video game fan, and I couldn't help but feel like Tommy's bald look at the start was almost like a Hitman Agent 47 look. Was that intentional, or was that sort of, what was the story behind that?
You know, it's not intentional, but it's why I conceded to Josh. Josh pitched that idea to me. We were trying to talk about the contrast between the opening of the film and kind of where he ends up. And again, you know, when you're starting with London, you end up in LA, you know, you got to see the differences in the year that we've missed out on him. So Josh was like, I kind of want to wear a bald cap and I kind of want an earring. And I was like, what? And then I thought about it and I was thinking about some of the gaming Easter eggs I wanted to put in. I was like, okay, this can be like my Hitman 47 moment. And that's pretty funny that you picked up on that. Yeah.
And I just always wanted to be Jason Statham.
Yeah, there you go.
Moment.
Who doesn't want to be Jason Statham?
Exactly.
That guy just seems like the one of the coolest dudes in the world. Now, Josh, obviously the genre is sort of old hat to you, but with Jeremy, it's sort of his intro into the action world. And I'd love to hear what that was like for you, you know, being a mentor both to Jeremy and to his character throughout the production on this film.
Well, Jeremy, he's an interesting dude because he's actually a power lifter. He's really into powerlifting and getting into shape. And we were both like, dude, don't get into too good. We need you to be soft and cuddly, and we need you to be a bit of a marshmallow in this movie. So but he was so committed that he like quit all that and he just sort of let himself be this character. But he's a good athlete. He really is a naturally really good athlete. And so it was kind of the perfect combination. So you think this kid is one thing, but he has this ability to do like real action. And not only that, he's just an amazing actor, very smart, very in tune with what each scene is supposed to deliver on to move the story forward. And so, you know, we just got very lucky. He's a great guy and he's a really great actor. And I think that I didn't have to do much because he was already dialed in.
I didn't even realize he did that in real life. He contains multitudes, as everybody does here.
He teaches he does like a police academy.
Yeah, he's a SWAT school.
Yeah, they teach like gun safety and gun capability.
Yeah, like weapon retention. He also builds cars in his spare time. So
he's a badass.
Then he couldn't have been more perfectly cast for this film.
Right.
So talking about the cars, then Allan, I'll turn to you because I love that as gorgeous as this classic car is at the center of the film, it's also one of the most running jokes of it. What was it like finding a way to find that balance between making this, you know, have an emotional anchor for Tommy, but then also be this sort of punchline for other characters?
Well, I think that kind of goes with a lot of elements of Tommy with the eyes and other, like, you know, sort of when you lean into that humor and it's something that is a flaw, I find that amusing. And so the car to me was always like the female co-star for him. It was a character. It was something that he really loved and he took pride in it. And in South Africa where we shot this, the interesting thing is that there weren't a lot of cars that we could find on the right side of the road. So we needed, you know, left-hand steering wheels, but over there was a lot of right-handed. And the only thing that they had, which is what we needed, were muscle cars, like old muscle cars from the 60s and 70s. And so there was a Camaro, there were a couple of options. And I brought Josh in one day to the production office and we had a bunch of photos up on the wall of the different cars that we could look at. And I can't remember ever really seeing a 69 Grand Prix in a movie before because it has this unique sort of box-like structure and the bumper and the headlights and the grille are very unique and different. And I wanted to be a little safe. And then Josh was actually, no, we should lean into this. This is totally different. And that's how we chose the car.
Because it's cool, but it's not that cool.
Exactly, yeah.
You know, it's not like one of those sought after collectibles out there. You know, it
is now. It will be after the movie comes out.
Maybe.
I mean, yeah, you've opened my eyes to how cool a Grand Prix can be, so I'm in. I'm ready to.
I was actually going to ship that car back to the U.S. from South Africa, but it turned into this whole nightmare of like getting, you know, just a ton of stuff. And I just did that same thing with a boat from Shotgun Wedding, and it was not a cheap endeavor. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to let this car go. Well, I get back. And Jeremy found one in Tennessee, right?
Yeah.
And is now restoring it to look exactly like that car. I was like, that little shit.
That's amazing,
he's
man.
doing what I want.
You guys had so many amazing experiences on this film. I love that it resonated personally as much as it did on screen. Now, I see I'm coming close to time, so Allan, I did want to ask really quickly. I mean, talk about video games. You were part of the Death Stranding team last time we talked. We were for Sympathy for a Devil, and it was still sort of slow goings. Now it's starting to gain up speed. How involved are you in the new version? I know I haven't seen your name in some of the recent reports.
Yeah, you know what? It's in active development, so like all these things, it's always something you can't really talk about, but I will say that it's moving in a very positive direction.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, and I look forward to seeing what you and everybody else on that team does. But in the meantime, getting the word out there about London Calling. You guys just absolutely crushed it, much like you did with Bandit, and I think people are going to love it. So thank you so much, guys, for taking the time. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Grant.
Thank you very much, brother. 3, 2, 1.
I'm Julian.